Okay, so this is Mando from the Mandalorian. I didn't do this just by myself. I mean, I mostly did it by myself. It's like 95% me, but my wife helped me a little bit. She did a little scratchy here and there, a little paint job. Didn't you? Didn't you help me a little bit, just the tiniest bit?
I feel like you downplaying my excellence, but that's okay.
I love you.
Yep.
Okay. So first I started off with some wire and I made some legs. I tied it down, made the little feetsies, you know, and the little skeleton, like a little metal skeleton. Mm-hmm. And then I was thinking about the poses.
Slender Man.
Yeah, he does look like something. And then I had tinfoil man. I added tinfoil to him to, pump him up a little bit.
More Slender Man.
More Slender Man. And then I added the hand. I decided the pose was going to be him shooting something. I covered him with, what is it? Polymer clay? Yeah. And then I used different types of clay because I'm cheap. So then I made a little gun, that I folded some wire, made it look like the gun. And I was going to have the big long rifle, but later on I got rid of it because I didn't want to do all that work. So I just made the Darksaber, the little pouches and little leg. And then I started doing the detail. Those are little cartridges.
I helped with that.
You did help with that. You pushed it down. Mm-hmm. And then, see, in the thighs, there's like these little holes. And that's just because I added the plating later on. See, right there. I think that's actually you making the little scorch marks.
Yep, that's me.
So that's you. And then I poked at it so it looked like bullet holes.
That's me again.
That's you again. And then we kind of had, see, you're so tender with that touch. See? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then that's the little strap that holds all the little bullets together. And I keep pressing it down because you gotta be very careful because it's very like little tiny little dots and shit. Not dots, but like little lines. And we go a little once over. And yeah, to get as much detail as we need. This is actually very layered because he has like a shin guard, and he has some like a strap over that, then he has this bullets on top of that, and he has like a little knee pad. And then right here I'm making like the thing that goes on the thigh, so I have to cut it appropriately, so I'm measuring it and I'm checking it out, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna like battle scar it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's kind of how it is. No, that's out of focus. And there we go. So that has like a little strip running through it. And then so I cut it and then I added it. And then, yeah. And then that's how it is. And then here we're making little bullet holes. If you see the little scratchy bits, you did that, remember?
Yep.
Yeah. And then you were so gentle, you're like, and then here we're doing the belt area. So I have to kind of like, roll through and give some space so I can just add it.
I didn't know you did that there. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I had the little belt, the little pouches for the thermal, thermochargers. Mm. And then there it is. So I made this little hole, so I graphed like a thing, and I did 1, 2, 3. And then you did the pouch, remember? You were kind of helping with the pouch.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And we did the little button. Then I added the little thermal little grenades. And then I kind of started doing the little, the holder, the gun holder. Holster. There you go. You so smart. And then, oh yeah, there is a lot of hair and lint on this. Yeah, well,
it could cover that.
Yeah, and then I added the little, this wasn't the original design. I added the little crotch, little area, like, where the zipper would be. Because I figured Mando got a pee too, Mm-hmm. And then, so we're now working on the chest.
Good thinking. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, in Star Wars, people pee.
Do they though?
Yeah, I bet Chewie be raising his leg and peeing all over the place. Mm-hmm. Like a dog. He's like a big fire hydrant. So yeah, then this is the little chest. And then so I cut up, and kind of like similar with the legs, I did the armor. And it was I was having a hard time actually putting the little sigil in the center. So I went back and I made it smaller, and then because it did not fit. You know.
Yeah, that's a little too big.
Yeah, so I kind of went back, and then I made it smaller, and I added the bandolier, and then I added more of the detail for the gun, and then we did more of the little battle kind of scratches to it, and that's kind of more or less kind of it. And then this is the cape. I had the really smart idea making the cape wired, because after I added all the other elements to it, it would kind of topple over, because it could stand on its own, but once it was heavier, it would kind of kept falling back. So I figured I needed a third point of like, what do you call it? Like when you can stand on something. So I grabbed some tape and I covered the wire all over it. And then I covered that with clay. And here I'm measuring to see if it's like, if it's going to fit, it's going to look right. And it looks pretty good. So I grabbed the clay.
I also helped with that, by the way.
You did. You flattened out the clay.
Yeah, very.
And then that's your hand. Is that my
That's
hand?
your hand.
Oh, that's my hand. Yeah. And then we folded it over. This was still my idea.
Yeah,
I was
this
still,
is all you right there.
yeah, I was like, but this was your idea.
Oh, yeah.
Like to make it all, because the cloth. So you're like, what if we take this little toothbrushy thing and make it all kind of like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then here I did more of like little cloth folds to kind of, also it works for pushing into the detail of the figure. And the helmet was a bitch. I had a hard time with the helmet. I went through different versions, and because I couldn't get because it's such a angular design. In the end, I came up with my own little design, but I was trying different methods, like to get the little ridges for it. And I was kind of gonna go with this, but that's still not his helmet. I like the look of it. It kind of looks like those Spartan helmets, but it's still not the correct one, you know? So eventually this was pretty good, but the thing is too rounded. Like this is closer to the original design, but it lacks the little bucketness of the actual thing. So eventually I kind of made the jowls a little bigger, and then I kind of ended up with something like that. If you compare this to the original design, it's still not the same. It's pretty close, but the side cheeks area, that's still my own version. So here, if that changed, that's because the sword, I at first it was a wire, and then the next picture I added clay to it, and I decided to add the Darksaber to it, because I figure all the nerds would appreciate that, because that's my prediction for the Mandalorian, that he's gonna get that Darksaber from the dude at the last episode.
We'll see in season 2, because they said it's coming out later.
Of course it's coming out. It's making so much money, dog. And that's kind of like more the end-based product without the cape and all the details and stuff. And then so he's holding the Darksaber in his right hand, and he's got a little blaster on his left. Yeah, his left. And I'm in the bathroom, so see, there's my soap. There's that dirty mirror. But yeah, there's more the detail of kind of like overall with like all the pouches and stuff. And I was pretty proud of this. I think the finger is a little cartoony looking, but it's okay. And then I grabbed the little marker. That's why you see the markers in the back. And I kind of painted the black part of the helmet, because those markers have a really fine tip, and I didn't want to stain the rest of the sculpt with it. And that's kind of more or less it. Then we used acrylic paints to kind of paint over this.
Yes.
Yeah. So we had to make different shades of brown, like a sand brown, like a poopy brown, a more yellowy brown, because he's basically very like sand colors. So
Some of those were the bitch to make, but
yeah. So his belt's really brown, and then he's like an orange tint to it. Then we also had silver. So the palette was all very it was very convenient, because like all the colors were kind of one gradient apart from each other, like gray and blue, and then like brown. And then at the end I mixed them all up to do the cape and start painting that. And then here you go, kind of just painting the cape. Yeah. Doesn't that look relaxing in a way? It's like, yeah, kind of sensual too. You like that, don't you? Yeah, Star Wars.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. And then that's kind of more or less kind of it with the little, and then I kind of went back for the detail for the little battle damage, because my idea was like this guy was really battled hardened, so he's got like buckshots and like bullet holes all around his armor, and that's why there's all the little holes. Here's the little Darksaber, and then here's a little gun, which I kind of did over with a black wash, so it looks like it's also been through hell too. And then there kind of go. Then Mando, you like it?
Mando's good.
Mando's good. We
Baby
like
Yoda.
Baby. Okay, we'll work on Baby Yoda. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for watching. Bye bye. Watch more of my stuff. Okay. Say bye, Raven.
Bye.